I am Joseph Dubrovic. I am 9 years old and I play drums.
Third grader Joseph Dubrovic is somewhat dwarfed behind the large drum kit at the Bloomington Rock School. But that doesn't slow him down as he warms up prior to his lesson in rock performance, a class where the students play as part of a rock and roll band.
We've learned a song called Rumble and a song called Pride and Joy.
Songs are at the core of the curriculum at the Bloomington Rock School, founded by rock musician Ed Anderson of the band Backyard Tire Fire and his wife Kim. The school doesn't focus on running scales and traditional music exercises. Anderson, a self-taught musician, says while traditional music lessons are fine, he prefers to employ a practical approach to teaching his students the basics of rock and roll, and that includes getting kids to play together.
I mean, that's really the most fun that there is playing music with your friends. And I think that a lot of kids, when they start taking lessons, they don't really even get to the point where they can experience that. They lose interest.
Many of the students at the Rock School have already had traditional lessons elsewhere. Kim Anderson is the head of operations at the school and says when students come to the Rock School, they're looking to take their music to a different level.
Being able to quickly go home and show mom that they learned the song, or be able to say to Ed, hey, there's this band I like, here's the song, can you teach me this? And not have someone say, well, you have to learn X, Y, and Z first.
Joseph Dubrovic's mother, Teresa, says her son seems more confident since getting behind the drum kit at the Rock School.
I think having this facet of his life fulfilled, it makes him a happier person.
Rock music was what made Anderson happy when he was a young man. Like a lot of young musicians, he had a garage band. Later, he helped to found the group Backyard Tire Fire. And then his career took off.
Eventually, it got bigger and bigger and bigger, and then you've got a van and a trailer and a manager and an agent and debt. You can kind of lose sight of the real reason that you started doing it in the first place.
Anderson, weary of the road, wanted to come back to Bloomington. He says that he was ready to rediscover the fun of just playing music and wanted to share that with others. Teaching the next generation of musicians helped him accomplish both goals.
And they've certainly brought me back down to earth as far as that goes.
Kim Anderson says it was those years on the road that gave her husband a cool cachet that's a drawing card for the school.
We're having a school of rock and roll, and you can't really do that unless you have somebody who has been playing rock music and really been in the business and done it.
Anderson and his wife opened the school last fall and soon had a roster full of music students. Kim Anderson says the students' needs determine what they get from the school and that Ed tailors his teaching depending on the student.
So it's very individualized, and we really try to make it what that particular person and family is looking for out of their music experience.
And Joseph Dubrovic appreciates that.
It's not very strict and short-leashed.
So does his mother, Teresa.
There's some open-endedness to it. They get to add their own little tidbits, to the songs, their own little style.
The rock and roll experience would not be complete without a little stage time. Kim Anderson explains that the Bloomington Rock School has what could be called a final exam, with an end-of-term live performance of the Rock School Band at the Castle Theater.
It's really one of, I think, the neat things from a marketing standpoint, as well as just for the kids to be in it, that they have this the whole time in the rock performance. They're practicing songs and getting ready for this big stage.
Guitar-wielding teenagers line the front of the stage at the Castle Theater, performing a classic song by Kiss. Julie Gizzy watches as her middle school-age son Nick warms up before the Rock School Band concert. She says when the opportunity to attend the school came up, Nick jumped at the chance to play in a band. More than just rock and rolling all night and partying every day, Gizzy says playing in the band has improved her son's communication skills.
He's learned that different people bring different components and how to work with others and maybe exercise a bit of leadership that he hadn't really considered before.
This is Nick Gizzy's second performance with the Rock School Band. He was a part of the first term's Castle performance, and playing in front of a club audience doesn't faze him. True to Anderson's goal, Gizzy found the experience fun.
I wasn't really nervous about it. I didn't know what to expect, but it wasn't a bad experience. I enjoyed it.
Nick's father, Michael Gizzy, says Ed Anderson doesn't just focus on musicianship. Stage presence is also a part of the curriculum.
It's not just playing, it's how you look to everybody, out in the audience.
Anderson says so far the rock school is successful. Many of the students from the fall term came back for the spring session, plus a handful of new students.
Gosh, now I've got 3 guitars in the performance band. It's like Skinnerd. And it's like, I think the biggest challenge is getting them all to stop playing for long enough to where I can actually give verbal direction. Because it's so fun for them to be, in front of the drum kit or to have their instrument in their hands.
The plethora of guitarists at the Bloomington Rock School may soon have to make room in the band. The Andersons hope to add lessons in piano and vocal performance in the near future. I'm Laura Kennedy, WGLT News.